Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be all about my Morphe favorites as far as my favorite Morphe palettes and my Morphe brushes. I get a lot of questions. You guys know how much I love Morphe cosmetics. So I just wanted to do this video for you guys so you guys can see which ones are my top go-to brushes that I use practically every day on a regular basis. If you follow me on Snapchat and you've seen my tutorials that I do on there, you know that I practically use nothing but Morphe. So I'm really excited about this video. So if you guys are interested, then keep on watching. Okay, so we'll start with palettes. My favorite Morphe go-to palettes are the 35K and the 35O palette. It's no surprise the 35O is by far my most favorite and most used palette. I have a new one that I just bought. So this one's brand new. And I picked it up when I went up to LA. I had to get it because the one that I had previously that I still use, I haven't touched this one, but my other one that I do have, this color here and this color here, I dropped it and it broke. And a lot of my colors are already pretty much finished. So I went and I picked up a new one. This palette is used literally every single day for all of my looks. Whether it'll be just me using one color or using all of the colors to pick up from this palette. But like you guys can see, it has a very high selection of browns and nudes and orange tones. Now that the fall's coming in, if you do not own this palette, which I'm pretty sure most of you guys do already because it's so popular, it's going to be great for the fall. It has all the fall colors. I'll probably do a 35O look for you guys so you guys can see how I use this palette, but absolutely my favorite. I actually used it to create this look that I have here today. My second go-to palette is the Morphe 35K palette, and this palette has basically the darker tones that the 35O palette doesn't have. Still has some browns, still has some nudes, but it also has some gray and darker tones on there. Because in the other palette, like you guys saw, I'm talking so fast, I'm like slobbering. On the other palette that you guys saw, I didn't have very many grays or darks or like really dark browns. They were all more kind of in the same shades of brown. So this one evens out that other palette. If I put them together, you will see you have pretty much a combination of every single color you would need to create any natural, smoky, just go-to beautiful look. So the palette that I'm always raving about on Instagram, Snapchat, everywhere that has Morphe written all over it is the, excuse the palette because it's a little disgusting right now, but it is the Brow 7 palette, and it's this baby right here. This is what I use to create my brows on a regular basis. If I could open this, there we go. Excuse it, it's disgusting right now. Like I mentioned, I do use this palette every day. I picked up another one as well, and I added it to my makeup kit. I probably should have used that one so it would have made it look nicer, but whatever. This is the one I use every day. As you can see, this is probably the color that I use the most. I do sometimes use this more towards the end of my brow here in the corners, and then this one more towards the center to just kind of, you know, give it a very nice natural look. This palette is my favorite Morphe palette of all time. I love this palette. Like, I couldn't even address how much I love this palette because I just love it. There's no other words to explain how much I care and treasure this palette. Not only do I love it for myself, but I have it in my makeup kit because I do use it on clients. If you're a makeup artist and you do freelancing, this palette has all the shades that you would want for a natural and very nice brow. The reason that I like powders is because my brow is pretty full. I haven't done an updated brow tutorial, but the brows that you see here are basically my brows. They're not overdrawn, they're not anything, they're my brows. I only go in there and touch up with this brow palette. So anywhere where I have any like little holes or any places where I still need to grow out some of that hair, that's where I would go in there and add this. The reason I switched over to powders is because when I would use either like a pomade or anything like that, I would overdo it. Sometimes it's a little risky. If you don't take your time, it can come out really dark, or it could come out just looking fake, and we wanted to avoid that. I went through a horrible eyebrow stage, and now I'm happy with the way that my brows look. So going in and touching up with just a little bit of shadow, because it is what it is. It's a you know, a loose powder. I mean, it's a pressed powder. So you just kind of go in there in any of the little like spaces you might have, and you have perfect brows. Keep them natural. You can never overdo it with this unless you do like a really dark black or something like that. But I love that palette. Also, I don't know if I mentioned at the beginning, I do have a coupon code with Morphe, so if you guys want to pick up any of these products, I'll put it in the description box below. Also right here, my coupon code is PIZZA. Very easy to remember. Just think about your favorite food and you will get a discount with that. So now switching over to my favorite brushes. We'll start with the face brushes. I have two favorite go-to face brushes. I have the Morphe E41 and the Morphe E1. So these are from the Elite collection. I believe this is from the Elite 2 and this is from the Elite 1 collection. This powder brush, as you can see, is so fat and so big. It's a very big part of my face, but that's what I love about it. You can add a lot of product and you can just put it everywhere. I use this whenever I apply my foundation to set the powder all over my face. This one used for the same reason. I usually use this more when I'm contouring, when I've already contoured with my brush. I just kind of go in there on my face and just wipe off any of that excess powder or that contour. Or if it's too harsh, I just kind of like use this brush to blend everything out. The two brushes I use to contour are the Morphe E53 brush and the Morphe E58 brush. And all the E brushes are from the Elite collection. So just so you guys know. This brush is flat and it has kind of like a point to the end. And then this one is kind of just slanted forward, as you can see. So this one is great for contouring. I love how you can just kind of glide the brush to apply your contour very evenly. And then this one is used more towards the bottom. I like to have a very sharp contour. So once I have applied my contour and I've kind of blended out, I just go in with this one and just add some towards the bottom to just make it really sharp. So that's why I love that it's flat and it has a very fluffy point to it, because it kind of blends it and it also makes a very sharp edge to the contour. I'm going to create a whole look using my brushes so you guys can see. I'll probably have one tomorrow up for you guys. It'll be a get ready with me, or I'll just kind of do something for you guys so you guys can see how I use them. It's hard to imagine it when I'm talking about them, but I'd rather you guys know what they are. You guys can pick them up. Once you guys do get them, you guys can see my videos and see how I use them, and you guys will love them, I promise. For highlight, I used to love fan brushes for highlighting. I now use these fluffy brushes. So it's like a fluffy blending brush, but they're huge. They're big. If you guys can see, a blending brush is this one, and then this is the one that I use for highlight. This is the M500 and the M509. So let me grab a highlighter, because you can never over highlight. And I just grab some of that on my brush, and you guys can see I just kind of dab it on there, and it applies so much product. Love these brushes. Love, love, love. And then I have this one, which is a little bit smaller, but it still does the same job. So this one I would maybe use it towards my nose, my Cupid's bow. But these are my favorite for highlighting. To set under my eyes, whenever I'm setting the powder to set my concealer, like my translucent powder, I love using the Morphe E49 brush. And it's a very small, flat, fluffy brush. And I apply just, you know, a little bit of powder, and I just kind of set that right under my eye, because it's small enough to where it gets right in there, but fluffy enough where you're going to be able to capture a lot of product and just set it nicely on there. These two are definitely my must-haves. I have the E45 and the E46. This is what I use to contour my nose. So this angled brush here, I put some bronzer. I was gonna say some contour. I put some bronzer on my brush, and then I kind of just like squeeze it a little while I'm applying it, like make it into a really straight line, and I just, you know, contour my nose. I just put 2 lines down the middle of my nose, and then as well as under here, and it gives me a very sharp line. Then once I've applied the bronzer, I will go in there with my beauty blender and just, you know, clean up the edges where I don't want any of that contour to stay. And using this fluffy brush here, I would go in there and I will blend everything out. It's small enough to where it's gonna blending brushes. So I have 5 favorite blending brushes. I have the Morphe M502, the M511, the M505, the M330, and the M506. I will have all of these listed in the description box below as well. So let's start with my favorite one, which is the 330. So the M330. So this brush is going to be amazing for your transition color. You would use this brush and just kind of drag it through the crease, and this is going to give your eye a very defined look, which is why I love it, because you can tilt it to the side and it will blend everything out, and you can aim it towards the middle and it will get really in the crease. The M505 is a similar one to that one, except it's a little bit skinnier, so the point is more sharp. If you're creating a cut crease and you want to blend out that crease very nice but carefully, this brush would be your go-to brush because of that point that we have here. The M502, I like to compare it a lot to the MAC 224 because it practically does the exact job of it. I have it here next to me so you guys can do a comparison, but this is the MAC right here and this is the Morphe. They look practically identical, except this one has a little bit more of a corner, but blend out exactly the same. I truly love this brush. Blends out everything for me. The M506 is a mini blending brush, and this is wherever I'm going to apply maybe like black in the eye, if I want to add some color towards the V end of my eye, or even if I wanted to add, like in my tear duct, if I wanted to add some color or like some like a pop of highlight, you'll be able to just grab the color and just kind of dab it in there, and it's small enough to, you know, get into those little areas where you normally wouldn't be able to get with a big fluffy brush. Finally, the Morphe M511 brush is just a flat, it's a big fat, oh, I have a little thing that's just kind of hanging. Sorry, I was distracted by my brush. It's just a big fat fluffy brush, and it gets in all of the colors, and I will use this to blend all of my colors together. Also, if I'm trying to bring the color up to my brow, this is going to be perfect to add that transition. My last 2 final brushes are a concealer brush, and it is the Morphe M705 as well as the Morphe M166, and this is just a flat brush that I use to apply color on my lid. So this is the concealer brush. It gets right into my brows whenever I'm cleaning up anything, and then this flat brush is what I would use to apply the color all over my lid. So these are my favorite brushes, guys, my favorite Morphe everything. If you guys have any other questions or any brushes that maybe I didn't use, like an eyeliner brush, I haven't found too many good eyeliner brushes that I really do like. But if you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the description box below. If you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Love you guys.